What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another Done Differently video. My name is Bastian and this is my channel. Quick introduction, my channel is kind of like a tech, how-to, smart money hack kind of personal growth. It's a little bit all over. It's a Done Differently approach. That's what my channel is all about. And in today's video, I'm gonna do something what no one does on social media. I was wrong. I'm gonna admit how wrong I was about the Tesla solar roof. I really sound like a Tesla fanboy, but I was really wrong. I started looking into it and I was just wrong. So if you want to know why I was wrong about the Tesla solar roof, just hang in there. So before I get started though, I really need to get an afternoon coffee, and although it looks really warm in Southern California today, it is actually a little chilly. I know it's no snow, so I'm not complaining, but let's make some coffee first. All right, got my coffee, let's get started. All right, before I get started, I'm gonna just give you a brief introduction to what this video is gonna be entailing. I'm gonna jump into the detail why I changed my mind, but I actually placed an order for a Tesla solar roof, so let's see if that works out, you know, fingers crossed. But I'm gonna do a walkthrough of the phase one of the installation, kind of like the beginning stages, and just kind of the things that you need to do before you have people show up here at your door or you have to pay anything besides the deposit. So it's gonna be a little bit of a beginning walkthrough. All right, before I get into it, I wanna thank my sponsor. I'm just kidding, there's no sponsors here. Two of my buddies, one of them streams on Twitch. He's super chill, he does gameplays, he's just a really mellow dude. His name is Flavonoids. I'm gonna link his channel down below. And so he's on Twitch. And then my other buddy, Aldo, he does Pokemon cards. He's like the Pokemon god, like he knows everything about Pokemon, and he's super funny. His channel name is Where's Aldo. I'm gonna link that below too. Check them out if you're into gameplay or any Pokemon cards. I think both are fun. They're just not centered around my channel, but if you are watching this and you're interested in that stuff, you gotta check them out because they're up and coming. They're super chill, super fun to watch. Without that being said, so I wanna address why I was wrong and how I looked at this the wrong way. And by the way, the video for how I was wrong is right up there. Go ahead, watch it, let me embarrass myself. I did a little bit more research afterwards, so this is where we're at. And this is life, you have to be able to change your mind. Let me talk about why I was wrong in that video, what new evidence I found that made this a better deal than any other roof. Then I'm gonna do a little bit of a walkthrough in the beginning stages when you order a Tesla solar roof. All right, so let me talk about why I was wrong in my video that I put up last week. My video that I put up last week was comparing a roof replacement of asphalt shingles to a more premium roof. But hey, I'm not a roofer, what do I know? This is just my research that I've done. So what I was comparing is basically a low grade material to a very high grade material, which doesn't really make sense. You wouldn't really compare the, you know, the top speed of a Toyota Corolla to like a Porsche 911. Like you wouldn't do that, they're different class. And I think that's what I did wrong. I didn't take that into account. A little bit of egg on my face because I was looking for the cheapest replacement of the roof, which it kind of makes sense to get a Tesla solar roof if you look at it from a long-term perspective. So, I was comparing roofers, and I was comparing the DIY method, and I was comparing the Tesla solar roof versus the panels. So let me just start by saying the roofers. The roofers is the very tricky part for me. I've gotten probably 6 or 8 roofing quotes, and they all vary from $12,000 to the latest one I got of $25,000. Like, how can it be such a difference? Where is that difference going? And you really don't know what you're gonna get with a roofer. So I didn't really feel very comfortable about the fact that every roofer has different opinions about how the roof should be done. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a roof, rip it off and put new stuff on it. So that was the very first thing. I did not like the roofing quotes being all over the place. The second thing is I was looking at the materials that the roofers were using. Some were using higher grade and some were using lower grade, and you'd be surprised. Some of the higher, more expensive roofs were not necessarily using the better stuff. They are just more expensive. You know, it's a very labor intensive job, but still. The other thing that turned me off is that would have been a cash investment for us in our house, which would have been fine. We kind of knew that, but it would have been cash. And you know, I don't know about you guys, but if I can hold on to my cash, especially in these times, you know, just in case something else comes up, and my house has some problems, so I might need it in the future, aka HVAC system is garbage. So I didn't want to like fork over all the cash to an individual. Like, I don't know what their liability is. What are they going to do with the cash? Are they going to run off? They're going to do a good job. Which leads me to the next point. When you purchase a traditional roof, once it's installed, it's done. It's done. You can't uninstall it and reinstall it. It's not like a Windows application. That was a huge drawback, and I kind of thought that was the same thing for the Tesla solar roof. So I've done some research. Tesla solar roof tiles are actually clip-in, which means in the future, if you change the roof structure of your roof, you can actually have a professional come out, unclip them, have, you know, have your roof basically torn apart, store them away, do all your remodeling, rebuild your roof the way you want it, reuse that. It'll save you some on the tiles that have the solar panels in them. It'll save you a bunch of money. On the ones that don't have it, it'll probably still save you a good amount of money. So lastly, I wanted to sum it up, and that is that you basically have Tesla's warranty behind the roof. The roof is made out of, I believe, glass, and it has all sorts of underlayments, and they will make sure your roof is installed properly because they're dealing with electronics and they have all kinds of inspections. And because I want to make sure that your solar panels are operating properly, they're not going to cut any corners. And if something does happen, it's Tesla standing behind it. I'm gonna call Elon and say, hey Elon, my roof's leaking, come out with your tools and fix it. Just kidding, I don't think he'd do that, but if he would, it'd be cool. All right. Hey Dougie. All right, so before I jump into this, there's a few extra questions that I wrote down. I spoke to my advisor, and he was giving me basically some questions that I had because my roof is old. So these are some bonus questions that you guys might find useful when if you guys are going through it. And if you guys are going through it, you have no obligation to use my code. If you want to use my code, it'd be fantastic. You get $100 off of your solar roof. I use the coworker of mine, so you know, use mine or use your friends over mine, honestly, unless you want to support the channel. Let me start with a few of my questions. So first question I had was, how long will it take for my roof to be installed? I've had a lot of conversations with people who are going down this Tesla route. They have told me something of Tesla having a backlog of like a year, and that's just not useful for us. As I shown in the last video, we have a leaky roof. I can't really wait a year. I can wait a few months. You know, I have a blue tarp. It's looking mighty good. But it's not gonna last that long. The advisor I spoke to, he told me it's about 12 weeks from start to beginning. So today I started the uploading of my bills and the photos of my panel and all those things. Probably 12 weeks from whenever, you know, the system has been sized. So my electric panel is bad. It's old, it's from the 60s, so I asked him the electric panel upgrade, which will need to be done. I need a special meter that can read electricity you're sending back to the grid. I asked him, will that be done as part of the Tesla solar roof, or will I have to take care of that myself with an electrician? And he assured me that it will be done with a Tesla solar roof. There may be an additional cost, but he said probably not more than about $1,000, which is pretty good. I mean, $1,000 for a new electric panel is pretty good. I touched on this earlier, future remodels, can the tiles be reused? And the answer was a resounding yes, they can be. In case you guys don't like the black Tesla solar roof, you're just kind of screwed right now. That's the only color they have. He told me they played around with the other tiles and they were just not getting the performance that they wanted out of them. Probably something to do to how much light goes through the material. Black's kind of the only color option that you have, but it looks fantastic in my opinion, so would have been the color we chose anyway. If you have an older roof, I asked him, will you plywood the roof? And he said, yes, we will plywood the roof because they want to make sure whatever system they install is sound. They have no issues on their part. Square footage estimation, I asked him, hey, the estimator seems to be a little higher when you go, the estimation seems to be a little lower than your actual roof size. You know, how will that affect the cost? Will that price change? And he said, well, we're gonna take measurements when we come out. The price will adjust from there. A little side note on that part, I spoke to him about future costs, considering, you know, I'm gonna convert things in my house to fully electric, basically no gas. He told me size the system based off of your current bill, and then they will take everything into account of future upgrades. There's a minimum they can do. I think he said it was like 120% over what your current bill is. So you can't really put the higher system as you want in, especially not if you use electric company. They'll be able to size it up. All that contract can be completely changed and you will never lose your $100. You can always walk away with, for whatever reason you don't agree. So they told me. Here's a really cool trick, and I hope if you guys go down that route, you'll find this useful. It is 5.99% to finance it with them. However, if you find a better financing option, they'll probably match you that rate. That's what he told me. All right, so this is the part where we're doing the home assessment. It's basically the portion where Tesla has you walk through and ask you a bunch of questions, such as, are you part of a homeowners association? Or, you know, are there any particular things that need to be replaced? So this pre-construction cost threw me off just a little bit, but I just kind of peeked at it and I realized it's probably something like if there's extensive roof repairs or if you need a electric panel upgrade or things of that nature that need to be taken care of. First I clicked no, and then I clicked yes. I just didn't want to fill out the information. So we'll get to it when we get to it, was kind of what I was thinking. Have you recently changed your home or your roof line? I'm not exactly sure why that matters, but I didn't, so I clicked no. So this is gonna go a little bit fast, but they're gonna ask you to take a bunch of photos of your electric meter, electric panel, and your garage. It's a little difficult. I had something in the way, but I think the electric meter needs to be an upgraded meter, so it can turn basically backwards when you generate electricity. My home's really old, so I don't have that, so I definitely will need a new meter. So here's a little clip of my meter. I mean, it's really not that exciting, but I figured I'd take a shot of it. It's really old, so it'll be replaced anyways. All right, so it asks you to attach all those photos, and I think do your best case effort. It was a little difficult for me to take photos. It's kind of in a strange spot at my house. So it basically asks you to upload the photos, and then it will ask you to take three white photos of your main electric panel. So the next thing it'll ask you to take a picture of your main breaker. For me, it was in the electric panel, so I just resubmitted the picture. It gets a little bit cumbersome, but my system, my electric, yeah, so if you have a special breaker, it will ask you for that. I didn't really have that. Mine just had one panel, and so I just went ahead and just resubmitted the same photo. All right, and lastly, it'll ask you to take a photo of the panel label inside your panel, and then it'll ask you have multiple panels. I don't, so that made it very simple for me. So then they'll ask you to take photos the inside of your garage. I think presumably this would be for the Tesla Powerwalls. Ideally, I think they like placing them inside the garage because they're protected from the elements, although they're just fine to be outside of your house. All right, so it'll ask you to take a photo of your air conditioner label. I think this is so they can size your air conditioner and take into account what electricity usage you will have during the summer and peak. Alright guys, I hope you guys found this video useful. I try to not to go into too much detail, but there's a lot of things that go into it, and the information is just not out there. So I'm hoping this is useful for people who are considering a solar roof. I hope this answers some questions in a format that can be easily consumed. If you guys like this video, if you guys want to see more about what's going to be happening with my roof, do me a favor, subscribe. Again, subscribe to my buddies Aldo and Flavonoids. Link are below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.